Christmas lights outside my house. Particularly impressive, and I think what you'll find is impressive is they don't just flash, but the colour variety and coordination makes it particularly pleasant on the eye. We are having a few Christmas light wars. Danny Payton next door, what he's gone for probably is more quantity than quality. He's got a lot of flashing lights, but arguably not quite as good as mine. And then if you look the next house up, Simon Dickin, he's also trying to, there he is, trying to impress with his lights. I'm just about to do an interview, Si, with the Leek Town chairman.
Oh, excellent, yes. So look forward to viewing it.
I'm just making reference to our lights. Whose do you think is the most impressive?
Probably mine. You're not getting the full glory there, to be fair, but yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, naturally. I think mine are the best.
You've gone for the minimalistic look.
But quality rather than quantity, some might argue.
Oh, this is it. Mine are all B&M cheapos.
Quality. Kelly Payton's coming to do the... She's coming to do the filming.
She's just been telling me how excited she is.
Yeah, she's there now. She doesn't realise she's actually on camera. Yeah, I'm really excited.
New chairman.
Yeah, new chairman. Jon Eeles. I'm going to ask him.
Pardon?
I'm going to ask him, how much money have you got to invest in Leek Town?
Good question.
A fair question.
Fair question. I think that's, any club would want to know what the chairman's going to be putting in.
Yeah, it's...
And the fans certainly want to know that.
Well, I appreciate your honest... Yeah, your feedback is the word I'm after.
Yeah. Is he Russian? These days, the Russians they've got very deep pockets.
Or is he an Arab or a sheikh or...
Yeah, any of them. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, no, he lives...
The price has dropped today.
What's dropped?
The price of oil, so they've probably lost a few billion.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, he just lives in Leek.
Oh.
But we'll find out in due course.
I shall be viewing it once it's uploaded.
Thanks very much, Si, for contributing quite ad hoc whilst you're having a cigarette.
No problem.
So here we are in my front room.
James, I told you.
Kelly, thanks very much, Kelly. She's my next door neighbour and she's kindly come across to help. And Mr. Eeles, the new chairman of Leek Town, is about to be asked a few questions.
With dog?
Yeah.
That's it. People will probably mock my 1975 wooden cladding, but...
No,
I think the tree's nice, James.
Yeah.
Better than the outdoor decorations.
Oh, right, yeah, right. Right, I've got my... Jasper, go away. I've got my questions on my iPad for John. And first of all, would you like to take your coat off?
I think I better
Yeah,
take
make yourself
my coat off,
comfortable. Make yourself comfortable.
It looks as though you haven't had the heating on.
I have it on, I've just switched it off because it was really warm. I mean, thanks for coming.
No problem
Coming
at all.
round to my house. You are the new chairman.
I am.
So it was a good opportunity to ask you some questions, and I've got my questions here. So I'm going to go right from question one. How long have you been going to Leek Town?
I can remember going down as a very young boy and having a ball given to me by Pete Fitchford, who was goalkeeping coach. So I must have been about 7 or 8. But I really got into it when I was about 16, 17.
So you've been going, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
47 years young.
46, looking good, isn't he? 47, yeah, looking good.
It's the chubby cheeks.
So, you've been going a long time.
Yeah.
How long have you been in an official capacity?
This is my second spell as an official capacity. I did get involved the year after they got relegated from the conference.
So what year is that we're talking? That's going back a bit.
15 years.
So what was your previous official spell?
I went on as director.
Right.
For 12 months, and it was basically when Lyndon Davies and Colin Warren France kind of resigned from the board because they'd had a bellyful. They put a lot of money in over 2 years in the conference, and it was that year that the pitch was unplayable for about 4 months.
Yeah, I vaguely recall.
And they had a bit of a share issue, and I put my hand up and saying, if I can help you at all, I'm a chartered accountant. And
you went for it.
Carl just said, here's the books.
So you've not been in an official capacity since then? Have you dipped out of it?
I dipped out 2 years after that. I've always gone to follow them, always watched them. Because what you find with a lot of people at Leek Town, if they've been involved in official capacity, you lose them after they finish. But there's quite a few of us, you know, like your Marvin Clarks and your Paul Burst, and they stay on, and you know they've always supported the club regardless whether they've been officials or not, and I kind of did that as well.
So when did you get back then?
About 2 years ago.
As a director?
Not to begin with, just the bookkeeper and the accountant helping Paul Bateman out, and I bumped into Paul in a furniture shop one Sunday afternoon, and he said he was thinking of giving it up because it was getting too much for him in terms of the amount of computer work, and I said, well, Paul, you're the best signing you've made for 4 years. So I would hate for you to give it up, so I'll give you a hand. And I just got hooked again, really. Okay. And it's gone from there, really, and that was about 2 years ago.
And then obviously now you've picked up the role as chairman, which is a bit more high profile, in fairness.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're
figurehead.
You're the figurehead, and you're
the lightning rod, aren't you? There for the
you'll take the critics if things go wrong.
Which, you know, they will go wrong because you can't please everyone.
So why?
All the time.
How come? Did you just fancy it, or what's the reason there?
The flippant answer is no one else wants to do it. But I'll be honest with you, I'm really proud to do it because it's it's my local club and I've followed them for a long time, and I think I can make a difference. And I've been quietly getting on with it the last 12 months, and you'll know from the work I've done with you as well that it never stops, does it?
No. So you've obviously picked it up. You mentioned you're an accountant.
Yeah.
So that should help, should assist, I guess.
Yeah, I mean you've got
a financial background, and being a chairman, as I look at a chairman, as someone that looks after the money at the club. Is that a fair?
To be fair, Paul's always looked after the money since he's been involved, and I've kind of helped him with that. And it's always been run on very prudent financial basis since Paul's been involved. And they don't overspend. They keep within the money that they know that's coming in.
So what's the financial position at the club at the moment? Is it
probably as good as it has been for a long time? It owes very little money. It has a lower wage budget than last year, and Lee's worked within that budget, which is fair credit to him as well.
Because days gone by, Leek Town financially have been in a mess. Is that a fair?
Yeah. And you'll find it with non-leaguers. You start with a higher wage budget, results are okay, there's a bit of hope in there, so you continue. You hope people come and watch you, you hope there's a cup run. This year we've had no cup run, so we've lost
a bit of money there.
Probably about 25,000, I would have thought, in revenue. But we still managed to, keep going and sustain that budget, so it's good. But we're doing well commercially off the, we're doing a lot better than we have done off the field commercially. You'll see a few more sponsors around the ground and those,
which obviously helps because it's money's coming in.
Yeah.
So how do you become elected as the chairman? What's the process? What do you
have to be a director first. So the first obstacle was to get the existing board re-elected at the AGM. And I think there's 7 board members, and we asked the 24 people there, could we be voted on block in one go, because it just seemed pointless, to go through each person. And I think that was a unanimous vote. Everyone put their hand up, so the entire board was re-elected. There wasn't any new candidates who put themselves forward, and then it was a discussion amongst the board the week after who they felt would be best to do the chairman role, because Andy was stepping aside.
Okay, and obviously, you mentioned Andy. I guess you've got a good relationship with him. I take it there's no hard feelings there. He's stepped aside for his own personal reasons.
Yeah, and Andy's very important figure at the club. He has a very high profile on the league committee, and he does a lot of good work for the club. But it's not just about Andy being chairman or me being chairman. There's some very good people on that board. Andy Reeves, you'll go down most nights, he's there either cleaning the changing rooms or tidying the ground up. Paul's there 3 days a week.
Stuff that people don't see.
Bacon, Tracy, everyone does the bit, really.
Okay. Have you got any money? Have you got any money? Because as I see a chairman of a football club, doesn't a chairman have to either raise money or put money in to improve the team?
There's no obligation to do that as a chairman.
So what?
But in terms of, it doesn't say anywhere that you must do this if you're going to be chairman. I agree with you. I think you have to lead by example. So you've either got to put your hand in your pocket if you can afford, or you've got to get out there and make the commercial activities work. I'm fortunate enough. I've got a decent job. I've been quite good, quite lucky in my career as well. but I'm not going to put tens of thousands of pounds into League Town because it's a bit boom and bust. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
You've got to make the club stand on its own 2 feet, and whether that's recurring income from sponsorship or commercial activities, so you can build a competitive team.
So I'm reading between the lines here. I think so. You'll be putting a bit of your own money in.
Yeah, I bought some shares last year. Bought about £5 worth of shares.
Right.
And we just had a new share issue at the AGM that was approved by the shareholders. So that allows new money to come in if anybody wants to put a lot of money in.
And I guess you have to also, like you say, through sponsorship and boards and commercial activities, you make a bit of money in addition to what you've put in.
Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't go on too much about
The finances,
the money being put in because it's not. You look at Dave Roberts.
There's no obligation. No obligation.
Duncan Bray, Tony Laidwright, they put thousands in.
Yeah.
It's not a situation like that. I mean, the stand's there because of Tony and Duncan, really.
Okay, let me ask about the players. What at this level that they're playing at, this non-league level, what kind of money can the players earn? So what's the top? Say a club in the league. I don't know which club pays well. Would you know that?
We know Shaw Lane Aquaforce have got a very high budget.
So what kind of money? What kind of money is they earning?
We believe they've got a 3-4 grand budget a week, wages
across the squad, obviously.
Yeah, so you'll have some of the higher players.
£400.
£400
a week.
Yeah, you would think so.
It's a lot of money, that.
Yeah, it is for this level.
Can I ask how much League Town players get?
You can, but I'm not going to tell you. Because I don't think they thank me for telling you.
No, that's fair enough.
There's a range, Jim. It's nowhere near that.
Right.
Nowhere near that. We have a fairly competitive budget, I think. We're not nowhere near the highest in the league.
I'd
say we're top 8.
So how competitive are the top 8 in terms of wages? And so do you have a staggered sort of? Some players can earn more than other players.
Absolutely, yes.
Does that not cause bad feeling?
It can cause bad feeling.
And have you had that at all? Have you ever had a situation?
I think we must have had it in the past.
Yeah.
You do get jealousy in dressing rooms, and when it comes down to it, some of them are quite mercenary, and £20 different to one player to the next is a lot of money for some of them.
Yeah, and I guess players leave for money.
Yes, they do at this level. You'll see yourself that a club only has to put 7 days in if they're not on contract.
And if they offer them another 20 odd quid, they might well.
Yeah, and some players, not ours, I'll hasten to add, but some players will use that to get their wage up where they're already playing. They've got no intention of moving, they just won't get the wage up. Okay.
Can we expect to see any new players, do you think, this season? Or what's the...
You'll see a new one tomorrow.
Go on.
I think Ash is back tomorrow.
Back. That's great news.
So I passed the registration form on to Brian today. That should be registered at the league today.
Wonderful, that's good, because he's a good lad. I take it, because he's not been gone long, is he just...
I think rugby away was the last game he played for us.
Right, okay.
So he's got about a month, 6 weeks, something like that.
Say 5-6 weeks. So why is he coming back?
He always said, look, if it doesn't work out, can I come back? I'd like to try at higher level. He's tried there. He didn't play the first game. I think he was sub. He's played since then. Their results have been mixed, I think.
So has he been in and out of the team?
No, I think once he got in, he stayed in the team. Their results have been mixed. We all know Ash can play at that level. But he said he didn't enjoy it. He didn't feel as though it was as good as atmosphere as Leek. Whether that's because he knew the lads at Leek a bit better. He did, no disrespect to Mickleover, but he did say he thought Leek was a very well run club. And he wanted to come back, and he's done it in the right way.
I think he's a nice lad. He's always very friendly when you speak to him. And good to have Ash back. Good lad. Okay.
Another ginge.
Yeah, can't get enough. With Chadders as well. That's at least 2 in the first 11.
Definitely.
Yeah, good news, of course. So what's your view on the current team at the moment and how they're performing? What's your opinion?
I think we should have won last week. That's even though a draw was a fair result, it was a bit of a sickener. 95th minute.
Bitter pill, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's going to be one of those seasons where a few games go like that, where we should win and we probably don't. I've spoken to Lee.
We've got someone at the door. Just one moment.
This is
One moment.
live television, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
this is how it, this is how it happened.
You're such an idiot.
Coming live at the moment.
Who's this? His wife?
No, this is my friend that,
Right,
that was
sorry.
coming
Come and have a seat. We're
previously
more
arranged.
than halfway through. This is Becky.
Hello.
I'll
Well, you don't mind an audience.
No, not at all, no. Not the amount of views you get, anyway.
Can you call the dog across? Call Jasper.
He's alright.
Jasper.
Okay, apologies to the viewer for that interruption. It is ridiculous, but this is what the fans want, I think. Right. We were talking about, if you can conduct yourself correctly, if you don't mind. We were talking about the current squad. It's going to be difficult this for these pair. And your view on the current team and squad. What would you?
I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, they can do this, they can do that. It's a very competitive league again this year. There's probably 2 or 3 sides, Stafford, Colville, Shore Lane, who are going to occupy those top spots. But those other 2 playoff spots,
Whether you can get.
absolutely, whether you can make a late run for it.
Do you think we will?
I think
We're off. We're slightly off, aren't we?
we need 3 or 4 wins on the trot, and
Yeah.
then it makes a whole world of difference. I think there's 10 teams separated by 4 or 5 points at the moment in that middle area. So 2 wins really does
Make a difference.
propel you up there, and they need the confidence. And because we've not done so well in the cups this year, we've gone out earlier. I mean, last year we were in every cup, and the pitch was overplayed and the players overplayed.
Might help.
But well, it might help, but I think it's worked against us at the moment because they're training twice a week. But I think Lee would rather, because they're a new set of players.
Rather be playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned Lee. I'll have to mention Kaza. What's your opinion of Kaza? What kind of relationship do you have with Kaza?
I've got a good relationship with Lee, and he'll say the same. But it's very early days, isn't it? For the both of us, I think Lee's done a very good job. I think he had an awful lot to to cope with over the summer with the change in players, and I think he's happy now with the squad he's got. It's certainly improved from first day of the season, and he's just got to get them playing together now and getting them gel because we've got some good players in there.
Yeah, I like Kaza. I think he's a good bloke.
Very enthusiastic, heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. As the chairman, I think I may have mentioned this already, but are you prepared for? Because you're going to get criticised. That's inevitable. At some point,
Yeah.
you'll get people watching. They'll cheer, and they'll be having little digs at you. Are you thick-skinned enough to take that kind of?
I think so, yeah. Thick-skinned, broad-shouldered. It comes with the territory, doesn't it? So, what I've learned through my work and really at Leek Town, you can please some of the people some of the time, but not all the people all the time.
Yeah, I like that saying. Well, I wouldn't be able to say it because I'd probably get it wrong. But yeah.
Do you know who used to say that?
Go on.
My old history teacher, Mick West.
Nick West.
Yeah.
What school?
Leek High.
Leek High.
He passed away now,
Yeah.
but used to go Blue Mug.
We were at the poshest school in Westwood.
Yeah, oh well, there you go.
I don't mean that, Leek High people. Okay, which players at Leek Town are on contracts?
Tim Grice, Dan Shelley, Chris Martin, Dan Chadwick, Lee Cropper.
Why are they on contracts? There's probably an obvious answer coming in.
If they're on a contract,
Is it just because they're better than the rest?
no, not necessarily. They may be on a contract because you just want to retain them, so you don't want the hassle of having to renegotiate with them every 5 minutes, or you feel as though another team may come in for them and you want to retain their services.
So on what grounds do you decide then should they be on a contract? I guess ability. Because for me, you get your good players on a contract.
And you protect your asset as well, so you feel as that ability, and they may be sold on. We wouldn't look to sell those players, but if another team came in for them, you've at least got a negotiation point in terms of demanding a transfer fee. Having said that, all those players are quite happy at the moment.
Do you ever get non-contracted players again feeling a little bit of envy towards the contracted players? Does that ever?
I've not experienced that, but it must happen. It's human nature.
Because I'd want to, if I saw Chadder's on a contract,
Yeah.
and I was playing, I thought I was playing quite well, I'd perhaps want a contract.
But if you felt as though you could play at a higher level and you didn't want to be held to a contract. Would you want to? You know, there's a pro and con to a contract for a player because you are tied down for the length of it.
Okay. You mentioned shares before. Are they now? Did I hear a rumour that they're available to the public now or not?
Available to anyone.
So have they always? Has that always been the case?
Yes, that's always been the case. But up until recently, we'd had £100,000 worth of share capital, of which 99,800 had already been bought by someone else. You know, many people. I think we have 200 different shareholders on the shareholder register. So there's only £200.
How much are they?
£50 for 10 shares, so it's £5 a share. But that's recently been increased by 25,000 because there's a couple of people have indicated that they'd like to buy some shares if they were available.
Right. Fair enough.
And I think the last time we tried to increase it, we said we'd like to increase 100 to 500,000 because we didn't want to keep increasing it, do it in one go. And a few of the shareholders, and quite rightly, felt, well, that's too big in one go. We don't know who's coming in, who'd want that much. So we've agreed now, if we do it, we do it in little chunks and it's controlled, and people are able to retain their level of shares and not get diluted. So that's good.
All good. As I was going to ask you, as the chairman, is it a time-consuming role? Have you found that it's taking a lot of your time? I guess you get email correspondence and phone calls and...
And that's just off you.
Yeah, that's just off me, yeah. He's right. I do really.
It is. It's, what I didn't realise up until this year is the close season is extremely busy. Extremely busy. So when the players and I'll say the management has some time off. Lee didn't have any time off because he was busy trying to sign new players. While they have a quieter time, a lot goes on at the club in terms of sponsorship, organisation. We had the pitch issue this year as well, so there was a lot of focus on the pitch.
So you are busy. And married, kids?
Yeah, married, 22 years.
22.
Two kids, yeah, boy 21, girl 18.
Does your missus get annoyed if your phone's going all the time and you email?
No, she just gets annoyed.
They do though, don't they, women? Yeah, it can be hard work.
I would if I was your wife, James.
Yeah. No, she's very good.
Yeah. So you don't get any...
It's it's a hobby, isn't it, for me? So if I'm not doing that, I'll be doing something else. So.
Absolutely, I endorse those views, and I think a good woman should allow a fella to...
Careful now.
Yeah.
I'm getting into Tyson Fury territory.
Yeah, I think a good woman should allow a fella to enjoy his respective hobbies and allow a fella to express themselves when talking crap, aren't we? Okay, do you have much interest in football away from League Town? So like, I support Stoke.
Yeah.
Do you follow another team like a?
I'm a closet Liverpool fan.
Are you?
From when from my teenagers, one of those Liverpool glory hunter fans.
That's disappointing.
I thought you might say that.
And
But generally, I like football. Full stop. I have been to Stoke several times last couple of seasons.
You went to get Chef Wednesday recently.
Yeah, I couldn't go every week. I'll be honest with you.
Why?
It's very time consuming, isn't it?
Well, League Town time consuming.
No, but if you're a fan at League Town, you can turn up at 10 to 3 and be home at 5:10, can't you? The Stoke experience is at least an hour and a half either side.
Mm.
Where I work, have some corporate hospitality. I'm lucky enough to go with them,
so you
and it
go.
Spoils you a bit.
Okay, you mentioned Liverpool before. We've got them in the Capital One Cup in the semi-final. Massive game for Stoke.
Yeah.
Do you want Liverpool to win that?
I'm actually away. I'm a bit gutted because it's one of the few games that I've gone to watch.
Would you want Liverpool to get to a Wembley?
I probably would, Jim. I'll be honest with you. I've got to.
You got to be honest.
I'd rather had a Liverpool Stoke final. To be honest with you.
Okay, I'll move on. I'll move away from that completely.
Just going back to that means Stoke have got to win something, haven't they? You can't keep going on about the League Cup. You can't keep reeling Denny Smith out and Terry Connery, can you? You've got to have a team that's won something.
I can get criticised for mentioning Stoke too much, but the current Stoke team is the best Stoke City team I've ever seen in my life, and you've got me going. But Shaqiri, Bojan, and Arnie and Afellay for me are potentially the 4 best players in the Premier League. I think.
Nothing without Shawcross at the back line.
Shawcross is one of the best defenders in the Premier League. We've got a core of the makings of a fantastic.
So you've got to win some of the next 3 seasons.
Yeah, really exciting.
And you've probably got a good chance with this.
I hope so. But I'm digressing. I'm going on to my phone, not to be rude, but I've had a couple of questions sent to me for the chairman. So I want to get them, make sure I don't miss them, because again I could be criticised if I do. I've just touched upon the junior section at Leek Town.
Yes.
Do you have any involvement in that? Do you have any interest in that?
Well, as a board, yeah, we absolutely do have involvement with it. And you know, one of the things Andy and Dennis Bates did was set up the junior section. 20 odd teams now, and a thriving ladies section as well. I've been to see the ladies a couple of times this year on the Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I've been to watch the ladies.
Very well supported.
Yeah.
Went to one of the academy games.
I thought they played some quite good stuff, in fairness.
Academy game against Newcastle.
Surprisingly.
There was 100 people down there watching that.
Yes.
So it was great, and I haven't been to watch yours yet, but I've heard you're a bit of a long ball merchant.
Yeah, so. Don't believe everything you hear. Leek Town under 9s, that's my team. Play Woodcroft.
I'll come and see you.
I'll text you when we're next at home.
I will come down. I'll bring the dog.
Well, one of my questions was about the junior section. Rob Bond, you know Rob?
I do know Rob, yeah.
His question is, what plans for the junior setup? Is there more sportsmen's evenings lined up? And any improvements to the clubhouse? There you go, bang, bang,
yes. Bang. There are always sportsmen's evenings lined up.
Can you tell us about any?
As Neil always says, because Neil's kind of very involved in doing sport.
Neil Baker.
You're only as good as your last one. So, you know, the Jan Mulby one was absolutely
great
brilliant.
Night. Yeah, great night.
Who did we have before? Dean Windass, very good night.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad one or a poorly attended one, that's the one people remember. So we'd rather do two, three a year that we sell out, we make good money on, and everyone enjoys themselves. So there will be another one around February, March.
Do we know?
We're busy sorting that out.
Can you tell us?
Don't want to really, no.
Lou Macari?
There is an opportunity to get, you know, Steve there with Biggins and Macari as a separate one.
It will be brilliant.
But you know, that would be an additional one as well. That wouldn't be through the normal channels. Okay. Clubhouse, I'll just
Clubhouse.
Touch on Clubhouse.
Talk over you then, which is poor interviewing skills. Clubhouse.
You know, the Clubhouse is the people who run the Clubhouse and what they do a great job with it. And when there is a wedding reception, it's done out. It looks absolutely fantastic. But it's getting a little tired, and it needs some investment. Now, it's how much money you throw at it, or do you knock it down and start again? And that's going to be one of the key kind of things as a board. I want us to get involved and have a longer term strategy around that clubhouse and some different change room facilities. And it all hinges.
They're ancient, aren't they?
Yeah, and it goes into the pitch and who plays on the pitch, and you know, if we're going to have the ladies down there as well, we've got to have separate facilities for ladies as well as gents. So, you know, big project.
Yeah.
But could really revolutionise what's going on down there a little bit.
You've answered that well, thanks. I'm being genuine there.
I mean, you look around Leek, there's very few conference/hospitality venues. You know, Foxlow does quite well. Three Horseshoes at the other end of town, it's a different market completely. So, you know, there is a market there for us. And you've got car parking.
There you are, that's sold it. Car parking as well. It's alright down Leek Town. I guess it is a bit tired, isn't it? But it's been, I suppose that might be something in the future then. It might be tied up a little bit. Okay, here's another question. Daniel Woods, what's the objective for this season? Realistically, are we aiming for the playoffs? I guess you've answered that already. I think, of course we're aiming for the playoffs.
I think between now and probably first week of January, when you get the Christmas games out of the way, you'll know then if we're good enough for a playoff place, if we're good enough for a push. I mean, what's happened in the last 2 years, we've kind of started very strongly. We've had rain, pitches got heavy, and if you look at the results over the season, we've actually declined towards the end. And it's stronger sides in the playoffs that have beaten us. Belper and Sutton have gone really well. I'd love for that to be reversed.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a crystal ball.
Okay. Rob Bond says that you're the perfect fit for Leek Town. He says he's a huge
wide angle then.
He says he's a huge fan of the bloke. That's you. and you'll deal with things well. So there's an endorsement.
That's lovely for Rob to say that, actually.
He's put that publicly onto Leek Town TV, which is the media to obviously follow.
It's the channel of choice, isn't it?
So is. And he's asking me the next Peter Coates. I mean, I think he's getting a bit carried away.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
A bit carried away there. I've got a question, not a question. My mate does the editing for Leek Town TV.
Is this Lunty?
Lunty. He sent me something, but I can't find it. But I think I've covered it in, so I'm not going to find it, I can't find it. But I think I've covered it in any case in my final couple of questions. It was about Leek Town TV,
Right.
Lunty's question.
Right.
I can't quite remember what it was exactly. But I'm going to ask you, Leek Town TV is almost 1 year old.
I would have thought it's longer than that.
January.
Okay.
We
there was the cow incident before that, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of nonsense before. But Leek Town TV was born in January 2015. We've survived a year, and we now have nearly 1,700 followers across the medias. And it gets some of our highest watched videos, 26,000.
We all know which one that was.
Yeah, and the recent ones we're getting like this will probably get 600 or 700 views.
Really?
Really? Yeah, I'm really bigging it up here, really blowing my own trumpet. So I think we've done quite well.
Yeah.
What is your view? Do we get on your nerves? What's your...
Does Leek Town TV get on your nerves?
Yeah.
What does James?
No, I think...
Because I get a bit paranoid sometimes.
Look, in the last 5 years, technology and social media platforms have changed dramatically, haven't they? So I think it's great that you're embracing something new and trying something different. And yeah, you're not going to...
Please everyone. What's that saying?
Yeah, well, see, yeah, remember it.
No, I can't remember it. But yeah...
But you're not, are you?
No.
You know, and at least you're having a go. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to get the keys to the village of Colville anytime soon, are you? So
No, they're not so keen on us. But hey ho, can't please everyone. So you think it's okay?
I do.
We try and put the club in a good light, if I'm honest.
I think it's good when you do other bits as well. So it's not just Leek Town Football Club, but it's more league centric than just a football club. I think those are well received because it's something a bit different.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Good, it was meant as one.
Good, thanks so much. Mr. Jon Eeles, thank you very much, because I have no further questions for you. I think you've interviewed well. I've enjoyed chatting to you.
Good, thank you very much. The cup of tea was fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies, for your
yes, thank you very much.
Your time and effort. You weren't planned, but I think you've done a fantastic job. I really hope it's saying record on that, as we've been sat here for nothing.
Should we go to the cup now?
I can't. No, I'm struggling with it. Quite heavy. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. So I'll stop now.
Yeah, stop.